The conference room buzzed with quiet conversations. I had just grabbed a fresh cup of coffee and was waiting for the meeting to begin when my phone vibrated. The screen lit up. A call from Ryan. My husband. I expected a casual chat. How's the trip? Or when are you coming home? But what I heard froze me to the core. Emma, we're getting a divorce, he said. His voice laced with smug satisfaction. Oh, and I sold the apartment. You'll need to figure out where you're going to live. Good luck. For a moment everything stopped. The sounds around me, the movement, even my heartbeat. His tone was so cold, so cruel, it felt like a twisted joke. You sold the apartment? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady despite the lump forming in my throat. Yeah, he said with a dry chuckle. Clara and I need the money to start our new life. That tiny place just wasn't going to cut it for her. Clara. Hearing her name felt like a knife to the chest. I had suspected someone else for months. Ryan's late nights, the sudden work trips, the growing distance. But hearing her name spoken so casually, as if I was the intruder in their story, ignited a fire in my chest. Fine, I said, voice like ice. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction of seeing me break. My name is Emma. Until that phone call, I believed the man I had married 6 years ago was someone I could trust. I thought we were partners. That apartment, we had worked hard for it. A small, cozy 2-bedroom in the city that I had fallen in love with the moment I saw it. It wasn't just a home. It was the foundation of everything we had built. But looking back, the signs were there. Subtle cracks in the foundation I had chosen to ignore. Ryan brushing off financial questions. His smooth deflections when I raised concerns. I mistook his arrogance for confidence. Turns out it was just manipulation. What Ryan didn't know was this. Months ago, I had transferred the deed to my name alone. We had refinanced earlier in the year, and when we did, I pushed for the change. He didn't care. As long as the interest rate was lower, he signed whatever I put in front of him without reading a word. That carelessness would be his downfall. That night in my hotel room, the initial shock dissolved into a cold determination. I wasn't going to cry. I wasn't going to plead. If Ryan wanted a war, he was going to get one, and I intended to win. My first call was to my lawyer and trusted friend, Hannah. I laid out everything detail by detail. He sold the apartment, she repeated, disbelief clear in her voice. Emma, he can't legally do that. Apparently he thinks he can. He and Clara are probably dreaming about their new place already. Hannah gave a dry laugh. Then they're in for a rude awakening. The sale is invalid. You have sole ownership. And if he took money, that's fraud. A small thrill passed through me. What's our move? I'll inform the buyer the sale was illegal. Then Ryan gets a formal letter explaining the consequences. If he pulls anything else, we'll see him in court. As I ended the call, a calm focus settled over me. Ryan thought I was powerless. He thought he'd cornered me. But in truth, he had just walked into his own downfall. On the flight home, I replayed everything in my head. His betrayal, his arrogance, the phone call. I didn't let anger consume me. Instead, I strategized. Ryan had underestimated me. That was his first mistake. The moment I landed, I called Hannah again. We've notified the buyer, she said. They're furious. But they're on our side now. I also sent Ryan a formal email this morning. It lays out the illegality of the sale and the consequences of fraud. Any response? Not yet. But I'd guess he's livid. But let him stew in it. When I got home, the apartment was quiet. Ryan's coat still hung over the chair. His shoes were messily tossed by the door. But the air had shifted. This place no longer felt like his. That evening, Ryan stormed in, his face red with fury and a printed letter clenched in his hand. "What the hell is this?" he shouted. "You're saying I can't sell the apartment? Half of it's mine." "No, it's not," I said calmly. "The deed's been in my name for months. You can't sell what you don't own." He froze, blinking in confusion. I pulled the deed from the folder I'd set aside. "After we refinanced, I transferred the deed. You signed off on it, remember? Or did you just skim like you always do?" His face twisted with anger. "You think this changes anything? I made a deal. You'll look like a fool when it all unravels. The deal's already void. The buyer knows, and if you spent a dime of that deposit, you're in bigger trouble." He faltered. "You don't know what you're talking about." "Oh, but I do. For years you treated me like I was too naive to notice. But I noticed. And now you get to live with the consequences." He began pacing. "This is insane. You can't just kick me out." "Actually, I can. Legally, this apartment is mine. You can stay for now. Only because I'm giving you the courtesy to figure things out. But make no mistake, I'm not going anywhere." Over the next few days, Ryan shifted from furious to desperate. He left voicemails, some begging, some threatening. Meanwhile, Hannah ensured every legal piece was handled. The buyer canceled the deal. Ryan faced the potential for a lawsuit. Hannah drafted the divorce paperwork. "You're in a solid position," she told me. "Between the voided sale and possible charges, Ryan has zero leverage." That comforted me, and reminded me how much control I had given up for years. I had let his arrogance silence my instincts. No more. My best friend Jenna came by one night to help pack Ryan's things. She held up one of his gaudy ties with a smirk. "How's he handling it?" "Terribly," I said, laughing. "He still thinks he can talk his way out of this." "Not a chance," she said, tossing the tie in a box. "He doesn't deserve a minute more of your time." Jenna's support meant everything. For the first time in years, I didn't feel alone. Then came the final act. Ryan showed up with Clara. They walked in like they owned the place. Clara looked around with an entitled smile. "So, this is where we'll be staying," she said. I stood up, heart racing but steady. "No, Ryan was staying here." "You're not." Her smile vanished. Ryan stepped forward. "You can't do this." "Actually, I can. This is my home. The deed is in my name. You signed without reading again. So no, this isn't your place anymore." Clara turned to him. "Wait, you told me this was yours. That you sold it. And had the money." "It's complicated," he muttered. "No," I cut in. "He tried to sell a home he didn't own. The sale's void. And if he doesn't leave, he's looking at fraud charges." Clara's face paled. "You lied about everything." "Emma, I can explain," he began. "No, you can't," I said. "We're done." Clara turned and left without another word. I looked at Ryan. "Let's talk about what comes next." I handed him the divorce papers. "These are from Hannah. Sign them and we can both move on." "You hate me that much?" "No. Pity you. You had someone who loved you. A life we built. And you threw it away. Now get out. Today." He tried to argue but gave up. "Fine. Good. Don't try anything else. Hannah's ready. The next time you cross a line, it's court." He left. Not a word. Just the sound of his footsteps fading. I locked the door with the new key. This was my home now. Mine alone. For the first time in years I could breathe. The space felt lighter. Free. That evening Jenna brought takeout and wine. Is he really gone? Gone. For good. We toasted. To fresh starts, she said. And well-earned victories, I replied. I reclaimed my space piece by piece, hung my art, rearranged the furniture. It wasn't just decor, it was healing. Hannah called. Ryan signed. It's official. You're free. Free. The word filled my lungs. I was no longer surviving. I was thriving. A month later, the apartment felt completely different. Lighter. Happier. I knew I wouldn't stay there forever. Eventually I'd move on. But for now it was my victory space. One night, curled on the couch with tea, I thought about Ryan's smug laughter on the phone. He thought he had won. But his arrogance was his downfall. And my quiet strength. That was my salvation.